Here's a question. Have you ever played ranked purely to get the season rewards? To spend those few hours grinding it out for a new decal or wheels or whatever the flavour of the season might be? It can actually be quite gratifying to do so, particularly when the next rank in your climb seems so far away. But based off the endless debates on Twitter and Reddit every single time a new reward is announced, it seems that Psyonix aren't able to strike a chord with the majority of the community, and at best they seem to be hit or miss when something is brought forward. Is there any way they could breathe new life into the end of the seasons? Or are they stuck as they are for a good reason? Let's take a look at some of the reasons that season rewards might be stuck as they are. Before we jump in, it's important to remember that a lot of this is quite subjective in nature. Everybody has their own preference and perspective on things, and unlike my non-meta series, there's no real numbers to draw conclusions from, so a lot of this is speculation. I would also like to hear your opinion on season rewards, so be sure to drop a comment and join the discussion. Season rewards have existed since the dawn of rank play with the original Season 1, starting off with a nice little crown, which, funny enough, would also be the last time we get a topper reward, after which it would bounce around the item categories at random. You would get every reward up to and including the rank you reached within the time frame. Usually the reward stylings coincide with the rank tier that you achieved, for example a GC decal for reaching GC, a diamond boost for reaching diamond, a gold banner for reaching gold, and so on. Usually they would mark the beginning of the end of the season, being announced around a month before the season stops, and would in a way act as a second win for rank pushes, particularly if the rewards are good. All you need is 10 wins for every rank you climb, which helps prevent people sitting at the bottom of a rank just for the rewards, and helps keep rank play lively, leading up to the end of the season. Rocket League's season reward structure is unique amongst the various methods of acquiring new items, as it's the only structure in the game that is dependent on skill. The Rocket Pass and challenge systems are more of a case of playtime, as Psyonix are certainly not going to ask new or even average players to do things outside of their skill set. As unchallenging as it is to say I got it 3 times in a game, there's not much they can do otherwise, and particularly for games like Rocket League, accessibility is important. Which brings us to our first reason behind why season rewards are stuck: accessibility. You don't want too much locked away behind player skill, especially for a game with such extreme skill gaps such as Rocket League. You also don't want people to resort to other methods to get a hold of these rewards, as that would turn rewards into a net negative for the player experience. You should never underestimate the lengths that people will go to for virtual items, particularly if there's some value that can be derived from it. Smurfing and boosting are already sensitive topics for the game as it is, and it certainly wouldn't help if Psyonix were to essentially subsidise the process, which leaves the rewards a bit stuck in terms of value. They can't really provide too much, but they obviously need to provide some value for the sake of motivation. Therefore we end up with what we have now. It's likely what keeps them within the rank styles most of the time. Looking at this very credible YouTube poll I ran for my subscribers, it's clear that there's a general apathy for season rewards. Some people mistook this for seasonal rewards like the Halloween stuff, but I digress. It's important to note that we've now had 21 different season rewards, with the 22nd on the way. There's probably a bit of fatigue setting in, considering that the rewards are by and large the same stylings that we've had for the last 7 years. There are only so many times you can rework the same design principles before it becomes apparent that you're grinding for something you basically have already, which likely makes it a harder sell for more veteran players who have already grinded for similar rewards beforehand. This issue will likely only get worse over time. Rocket League finds itself in a wholly unique place when it comes to its ranking system. Due to the small lobby sides and often extreme jumps in skill between ranks, the game is forced to have one of the strictest skill-based matchmaking systems in gaming. Even in casual you won't really be able to escape its influence, simply because the skill gaps can effectively deny gameplay to people in mismatched lobbies, which means that, no matter what, you're basically always stuck playing the same people with similar skill to you. Which begs the question, how am I supposed to showboat my progress when everyone I meet has the same boat? The answer of course is that you can't, really. If you drop to the rank below, you just seem out of place and like you're in a slump. If you go up a rank, the best reward you have is not as good as everyone else's. So really the only way to show off your rank is to queue with others or upload a YouTube video or something. Which means that the only solid reason to use the rewards is if you like how they look. And this is where we arrive at quite a touchy subject. Now, I'm not one to tell you what you can and can't like, and I definitely wouldn't be able to do a better job, but these are fairly hit or miss. Some of them I really do like, for instance all the decals have been really good, I'm a really big fan of the new chapter's debut, and I've been rocking the SSL decal ever since I got it. I don't really know why you would specifically want a reminder of your rank every time you score, but you do you. I've definitely seen them used pretty frequently, so they're not that unpopular anyways. I get why you would make rewards based off the season theme, but we only get it after the season ends and we move into a new theme, which seems like the worst time to get it. Surely this would have been better maybe sometime in the middle. I think the main gripe I have with them is how on the nose they are with what rank you got it from. If it was just the colours with a hint of the ranks, like the decals, I would be behind them more. I think particularly with how interconnected the community is, it can be a little bit off-putting wearing a rank knowing people who have better ones, but something like a colour scheme is a lot easier to digest. Finally, and probably one of the main reasons that season rewards aren't going to change from what they are, is because they compete with other items. These rewards are free, and all you have to do is play the game. So how is Epic supposed to get you to spend money on this game if the season rewards knock it out of the park every season? The answer, of course, is that they can't, which is why they can't deviate too much from the design philosophy that they have now. It would be cool to be able to earn some really amazing items through climbing the ranks alone, but at the end of the day, it is still a business, and a live service game such as Rocket League depends on continual sales to maintain it. So to strike the balance between encouraging people to play more and encouraging them to spend money is a challenging task at the best of times. So it's hard to really fault them for sticking to their guns with the design philosophy so closely. Overall, season rewards aren't going anywhere different anytime soon. Whether you love them or hate them, you'll still get something for your time at the end of the seasonal period. There's definitely a reason that these are announced over Twitter and Reddit instead of paraded around the home screen or in a flashy trailer video, but it's a shame to see such a large aspect of online play, rewards, being put so far into the background. It'll be interesting to see if they ever change the design principles of season rewards, especially with the much anticipated Unreal Engine 5 update on the horizon. You have to commend the consistency of the season rewards, as the concept has gone largely unchanged throughout the entire runtime of Rocket League. Very few aspects of the game can say that anymore. It's certainly not perfect, as I often find myself not playing if I don't like the reward offerings, but you don't have to like every single thing that comes out. As long as somebody likes it, it does its job just fine. Thanks for watching. Just to let you guys know that starting this week we will now be uploading weekly. Tune in every Friday for a new video, whether that be non-meta or something more like this. Let me know what you think about these longer form videos in the comments. I'm not used to particularly doing videos this long, so I wanna do it a bit more. Thanks again to my patrons for their support, and I'll see you guys in the next video.